Hi there, I'm X King. Welcome back to another episode of Review Films currently in theaters. Today I am talking about A Haunting in Venice. So, A Haunting in Venice is directed by Kenneth Branagh, and it is his third film where he stars as Hercule Poirot, a very famous detective. At this point in his career, he has people lining up to ask him to take on their cases, but he's kind of grown tired of it, believing that it is destroying his soul. So he's kind of retired. However, an old friend of his shows up and recruits him to basically prove that this psychic isn't a real psychic. So he goes to the seance, and of course, things get complicated when someone ends up dead. And now Hercule Poirot is on the case. However, there might be more to this case than meets the eye. So, the other Hercule Poirot movies, Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile, I have reviewed both of those movies and I've explained why I felt they were both alright. I'm always felt like the mystery elements were pretty obvious in those movies. This one's a lot different in that regard, where the mystery's actually kind of more complicated. Mainly due to the fact that there is a haunting element, that there might be ghosts in this house, and it's up to Hercule to kind of prove that there isn't, while also starting to see things that he really can't explain. That adds a huge new element into this very stereotypical murder mystery story. To make matters even better, the murder mystery isn't as obvious as I had felt that Death on the Nile and Murder on the Orient Express were. I did figure it out pretty early on, but I'm very good at these types of movies. I feel like anyone who isn't really used to murder mysteries will actually struggle a little bit to try to figure out who it is, as every character has a reasonable motive. Which brings me to the next point. All the characters in this movie are really well done. Now, some of the characters in this murder mystery aren't completely developed. That being said, they don't all have to be developed. Most characters in a murder mystery are there to be suspects, and we don't get to learn a whole lot more than their motivation for why they would want the victim dead. That's okay in a movie like this. Not every character has to feel three-dimensional, because we're not going to learn everything about them, especially since this movie is only 8 hours and 30 minutes, and it's not trying to overstay its welcome. Now, Hercule Poirot has gone through a very distinct character journey, and this film continues that journey, developing his character even more, and that I very much appreciate. So, I really did enjoy the way the characters were written. This is helped by some really brilliant performances. I mean, we have Kenneth Branagh as Hercule Poirot. He's brilliant in this role, and he continues to develop this character really well. Then you have people like Tina Fey, who are doing really well as his old friend, who does some cool little banter with him. But to be honest with me, the standout here is Jude Hill as this kind of creepy-ish kid who really isn't into Edgar Allan Poe, is kind of a nerd, and even seemingly seems to know more about this house than anyone else. Seems to actually believe that the ghosts that supposedly inhabit this house are real. And whenever he's on screen, he is just, I am drawn to this kid, and it really is partially due to Jude Hill's performance. And I gotta say, it was very impressive to see this very young actor take this role and make it his very own. The visuals here are mixed for me. There are some really good close-up moments when you see the wheels spinning in Poirot's head. But there are also some really weird cuts that just feel way too shaky and way too flashy. Like they were trying to make it feel like a horror movie from the early 2000s, and it just doesn't work all the time. Sometimes it's fine, other times it's just bland. And that's the same thing with the score here, as far as the music is concerned. It's fine overall, it's nothing new, and it really is trying to be indicative of early 2000 horror movies. That being said, I had a lot of fun with A Haunting in Venice. I wasn't expecting to have as much fun with this movie as I did. Like I said, I didn't think Murder on the Orient Express or Death on the Nile was really anything special. But I'm very pleased to say that this is the best Hercule Poirot movie that Kenneth Branagh has put out. And I really hope he continues to ride this wave, because if we get more movies like this from him, I will be very happy to endorse this franchise. So at the end of the day, I'm going to give A Haunting in Venice a 7 out of 10. The only reason it's not higher is, again, I really had some issues with certain visuals, and I really didn't care for the music score all that much. But we still had some great characters, a really good murder mystery plot, and some great performances. I really enjoyed this film. I'm going to hope you guys will check it out. That's my opinion on Haunting in Venice. I recommend it to anyone who's looking for a good murder mystery with an interesting element to it. And what did you guys think about A Haunting in Venice? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.